Welcome to the Be That Healing Girl podcast. And today we're going to talk about how to get out of the overthinking loop for good. We're going to cover 3 truths. When I look at my clients and in the Healing Girl gang, there are really 3 hard realities that we have to look at. So if you tend to get a little freaked out and go into your head when they're feeling a little distant or there's some kind of mood change and your brain just starts to go into overdrive. I'm talking, you cannot stop thinking about it. You are in a loop of what did I say wrong? Or should I not have brought that thing up? Or whatever the overdrive is going, the overthinking has started and you just kind of got to ride the ride until it's done. If that is tending to happen for you, then this is a great episode. And if you're new here, I'm Claire. I love helping high achieving, high performing girlies who are climbing career ladders. Maybe you're a director of some sort or a manager of people, or maybe you have some letters behind your name. You're an academic, right? PhD, MD, all the whatever's behind your name. Or maybe you're an entrepreneur. Wherever you tend to achieve, and honestly, on paper, your life looks amazing, right? You're doing things, you're traveling places, you got the friends, but at the same time, you are struggling with spiraling with overthinking in your relationship. It doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, a good majority of you are, or dating, or maybe you are getting through a divorce and you're starting to date again, and you just cannot get a handle on what your brain does when you are feeling like the vibes are off. So if that is you, honey, you are in the right spot. Super excited to dive into this today. And a couple of updates that I think is fun. Somebody messaged me the sweetest message, which was not about their relationship. And they were just commenting on how they've noticed my style has gotten a little bit more, fun as far as the fashion. And I will definitely say that I am not a fashionista in the traditional sense, like you think New York girly, but I do enjoy clothes. And what I've actually learned is that for me, less about like getting more clothes. That's definitely not the vibe over here, but I do see clothing as a method of expression, and expression is super important on all fronts. If you are expressing yourself, whether you're a singer or you do art, I realize that my own clothing is my own expression. So, getting a little dolled up and getting ready and trying different styles and doing fun, different patterns. Like we went to go on our retreat, one of our retreats, and I wore these fun, cool linen pants. I got them off of Nuuly, not sponsored yet, but they're super fun. And I have just realized that I have kind of been I'm wearing my neutrals. I'm a neutral girly. And I've actually realized that one of the things that I'm really excited about is just being able to express myself via clothing. And I am just a proponent of that. And so thanks for the love. I appreciate you. And yeah, I'm just finding myself wearing different things and styling things a little different. So super fun on that. And bring those linen pants to one of our retreats. By the time this gets released, I'm literally a week out from going on my big expedition where I'm facing my biggest fear. I am sitting with the irony that I signed up for, I'm going to have my little moment in the woods, a week of silence. And I'm realizing that I'm going to be in my own thoughts. I'm going to be in my own feelings. I'm going to have no distractions, and essentially that's abandonment. So I signed up to face my own fear of abandonment, and I am really interested. I'm surprisingly not as nervous or as scared as I thought I would be. I mean, I am a Sag, so I go hard or I go home, and I'm going hard. So I'm really excited to really go deeply internal. If you are new here or not, and I hope you learn that going internal and being with yourself, being with your feelings, being with your own thoughts is super important. It's a huge part of the healing process. And while I kind of knew that there was going to be some big things and I was going to go deep with this experience, again, a week in the woods, mostly isolated, silent. I'm going with a group, but we're going to have our own kind of areas. where we're going to be isolated. But yeah, I'm realizing that this is actually really major, that I'm going to be in the dark in a tent for a couple of days, like 6 days. So I cannot wait to, well, I'm welcoming the change and the transformation that's going to come from that, of truly being by myself with my own thoughts and emotions, and yeah, face that fear of abandonment, because that's what I signed up for. I signed up for literally the abandonment of other people. I'm going to be isolated. So really excited to give you updates. I believe I should be, when this gets released, up on the mountain. So send me lots of love. Just take a moment and send me all the good vibes, because the more the merrier. But that being said, super excited about that. And yeah, let's talk about some of the pieces that I know can happen when you're in this overthinking loop. And also, what's super exciting is that this month inside the Healing Girl Gang, this month in August, is all about overthinking specifically. Now, what's cool is that we have an overthinking detox every single month. We start the month with a training, with an overthinking detox, but the detox it's actionable. It's very short. It's for 5 days, but the whole month of August is dedicated to overthinking. Super excited. And I thought I'd do a little teaser of just some of the things that I really believe that can help you get out of the loop. And in the Healing Girl Gang, in my community, I'm going to give you the step by step. We're going to break it down so you can have the steps, have the what, the why, and the how inside the community. But let's dive into it. So one of the things that often I see is that we overthink, we try to outthink. The overthinking is an attempt to outthink the fear. I'll say that again. The overthinking is an attempt to try to outthink the fear. And that can't happen. And I mean, you're doing it probably, likely. And how is it working for you? Probably not well. And that's because you can't outthink a feeling. Fear is a feeling. Yes, we can think a scary thought and that can make us feel something, but feelings can also start thoughts. Have you ever gotten scared, like a jump scare, and then from a movie, and then you go to bed and you start like thinking, oh my gosh, there's vampires in the house? That totally happens to me. So your thoughts can trigger feelings, and feelings can trigger thoughts. And a lot of times overthinking is a mechanism because we're trying to outthink the fear, and that doesn't work, because fear is also, it's a feeling, all right? And one of the things that we try to do, at least I did, and I'm going to guess that you do too, is try to outthink and think about every possible outcome, every possible way that things can go down. Okay, he's not texting, so this is what's happening. He's dead. He's like in a ditch somewhere, or he is with somebody else, or he's texting somebody else. I mean, your mind can do all kinds of interesting things and make up fake scenarios. And that's because you're trying to get control. You're trying to outthink and get over the fear by looking at every possible outcome. And it made me think about this. The times that I would spiral the most would be, Craig was a teacher, very stressful job, and he loved his job. He loved the kids, not so much the admin, the parents, which were the biggest pain in the butt, and the administration. So his MO, his thing that he does, and I literally notice this anytime we come home from, like, we go do an activity or especially a trip, he needs to get unraveled. He needs to get his things tidied away. And when he would come home from work, from teaching, he would literally just like rip his shirt off. I mean, that's sexy, right? But not really when you're overthinking. But he would need to get undressed and like put his things away and like be in kind of a flurry so he could actually relax. And I would remember that would drive me insane. My overthinking was at its max at those points, because I thought that, oh, well, he's home and like, I'm so excited to see him. I want to welcome him. And he just needed a moment to get his shit together, like get unraveled. And that used to just really trip me out, because I would just start to think, is it me? He's putting his worksheets away, really angry. And I would start to make these things up in my head. And in reality, looking back, I was really just trying to figure things out because I was scared. What if he's mad at me or something was off? So I really understand that spiral from a deep, deep felt place. It's taken a lot of time, a lot of practice to kind of work through that. And I'm going to share some of the three truths that I really noticed. So one truth that is a really tough pill to swallow is that it's not about control. When we are in an overthinking kind of place, we really think that if I can just control my overthinking, if I can just stop it, if I can just figure out a way, it's actually not necessarily about control. And I also do believe that when we try to control the overthinking, it actually makes it worse. It's kind of like if you had a seed and you're like, okay, I want this thing to grow. I want it to grow. I want it to grow. And you keep poking it or overwatering it or giving it too much sun, like that over control, that micromanage doesn't actually help with the sprout or the seed or with your overthinking. It actually makes it worse. And what I want you to understand, it's not about control, it's about capacity. Okay, it's about capacity. When I work with one-on-one clients, so for example, I was working with a client yesterday. She is wicked smart, like so smart, so highly achieved. This is not about her abilities in that area. And in fact, I would say because she's such a high achiever, she has a lot of strong muscles in getting things done, in showing up and studying and being dedicated, but she does not have the capacity inside herself to hold herself, to hold the emotions, to process them, to have the scaffolding inside of herself. Like if you didn't have bones, you'd just be a bag of meat, right? We need bones, we need structure, we need scaffolding. And what she's discovering about herself, what I'm teaching her is how to build that inner capacity inside yourself so that you're feeling full. It's another example of capacity is you can be a gym girly and lift, and you can do crazy amounts of weight or whatever that thing is, but you may not have the lung capacity. So just because you're a high achiever, then that's great. I love that. But if you are struggling with holding your own emotions, or you're constantly going to them for reassurance, or you feel fear and you tend to react, then it's not a capability thing, it's a capacity thing. Your ability to hold yourself, to self-soothe, your ability to have the capacity to hold all your emotions, to be with yourself, to be in a space where you don't know what's happening. It's a capacity thing. So 3 truths. Let's do it. So the first thing is you have to be able to notice in the moment, and as you get better, before the moment even happens of the spiral, that something is happening. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that they feel so out of control with the spiral. You just think, okay, they're distant, and boom, you go right into this mechanism. It is about noticing. It's about noticing that moment. That's actually the pivotal moment. It's like the fork in the road where you can either get on the ride at Disney, or you can say, you know what, actually, I'm feeling a little woozy and like I need to sit down. So the first hard truth is recognizing it's your ability to notice the signs and notice in the moment and notice how to be proactive to not go into that spiral. So that's the first thing. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of you don't have the awareness around it. You just kind of you're reacting and going into that spiral because it's what you know and it's what's familiar. Second truth is accepting that it's a reflex. It's a reflex that you have. And this kind of is tied into, okay, well, if you tend to make yourself wrong, oh, I'm doing the spiral again, like, here it is. And why am I doing that? I should know better. What's wrong with me? I'm a tough girly and I've got it together, but man, I can't. Any of those thoughts that are pushing and rejecting that part of you, you're going to have a hard time. So the hard truth is learning how to accept your mechanism, accept that it is your reflex. Now, I'm not saying then, I guess this is just how I am. That's not the kind of acceptance I'm talking about. It is recognizing that this is something that you do, and it's a safety mechanism. So accepting that you actually developed this mechanism to keep yourself safe, huge, huge piece of, and a hard truth. Third hard truth is being able and recognizing that you have to retrain yourself. You have to retrain your system. So literally there's a biological response. You have a nervous system response, fight or flight. You're fighting in your own mind or you're checking out, it doesn't matter. You really have to retrain your system, and you also have to retrain your actions. You have to retrain your behavior. You have to retrain to learn to be calm instead of going into the fear, right? And just like anything else, it's really a muscle. And I used to be a strength coach. I've had many lives. I was a strength coach, a leadership coach for a big multi-million-dollar women's coaching company to teach them business. I've done a lot of things, but all of these muscles are really the same, where you have to learn how to retrain your system, retrain yourself to be calm, to make that the default instead of going into the fear. Okay. So again, the 3 hard truths: to notice, to accept, and to be willing to retrain. Because I will tell you also that retraining does mean you're gonna, like, it's like going to the gym again if you haven't been there in years or whatever, or you're doing a new movement. You have to kind of, don't start with the heaviest weight. You want to start with a lightweight, and you want to start with like a system. You want to learn how that movement goes. You might want to watch a video, a tutorial. You might want to, I don't know, get some explanation around it. So all those 3 truths, really important. And let's answer a question, because that's always super fun. And again, one of the fun things that we do in the Healing Girl Gang, my community, where we have masterclasses that teach you the what and the why, implementation days that show you the tangible steps and the how, the action steps, an Overthinking Detox. We have a lot of things. The link is in the show notes. But one of the things we do is I answer a question from the Healing Girl Gang, and let's do it. Gretchen. Hey, Gretchen. So Gretchen says, my boyfriend of 8 months has told me he feels unsure about the longevity of our relationship. He says at this time he doesn't see us getting married. I feel so delusional staying, but I still feel love for him, and it's keeping me stuck. What should I do? Tell myself when I feel like the right thing to do is to move on. Well, Gretchen, I'm going to be really lovingly honest, is that you've got to listen. Okay? So there's 2 people here that you want to listen to. Number 1, you have to listen to what he's saying. If your vision is to get married and he is saying that is not his vision, then you've got to listen to him. And what I also am seeing here, he's saying at this time, then okay, that's fine. But you got to really listen to what he's saying, because is he saying not right now? And that might mean having a loving and clear conversation. Is that are you asking for right now? Because if you're not, that's fine too. Getting really clear with him of, is it not right now? Or like, you don't want to get married ever, because those are 2 very different things. So I would, and if he is kind of implying, and I don't like the implication, you want to get really clear on, is this like, do you see this going somewhere? Because then he gets to tell you and you get to be with that. But if this is like, he just never wants to get married, then you have to listen to that. And I want you to be really hear what he says. Really listen to what he frickin' says. And hey, I get it. It's not easy to not hear what we want. But if that's his truth, then that's his truth. Because what you don't want is to be with somebody who never wants to be married. All right. And, the truth is also, he may not know right now in this moment if he wants to get married to you. That's valid. That's okay. But so I want you to be really clear and listen to what he is saying. And if you're not getting a clear answer, you got to ask yourself, are you asking a really clear question from a place, Gretchen, of fully open, fully grounded, fully okay with whatever answer he gives. Okay. And I know that's simple, but not always easy, but that's just the truth. If you are going into that conversation pressuring him, then you're going to get an answer that's based on pressure, not based on openness and receptivity and curiosity. You're going to go in there and he's going to say something just to make you shut up, just to move on. And we don't want that. Okay. I don't want that for you. The other thing, the second person that you want to listen to is yourself. Okay. You want to listen to yourself. And one big thing, this is an October training that we do in the Healing Girl Gang, but is this your intuition, or is it actually your anxiety? Is it your gut, or is it anxiety? And is it your overthinking? Is it a fake scenario? And it really is multifaceted to understand how we can think ourselves into a spiral, or are we actually listening to the hit that we're getting? And that is, and ultimately, if this feels like a no, like this is not the person for you, then you really have to listen to yourself. And also the other part of that is getting honest. Are you doing this because you're scared? Are you saying F this because I can't deal with it and you can't take your time and make a decision? Then you've got to really be honest with that too. So not going to give you a clear answer because I trust you to really listen to him and to the words that are coming out of his mouth, to listen to your own truth, to call your bullshit out. If you are self-sabotaging, then I really encourage you to listen, to get real with yourself, and to get freaking honest. Get honest, people. Get honest with other people. Get the truth from yourself as well. Okay? Some really tough, loving love. And of course, if you're in the Healing Girl Gang, come into a training. We can work through it together. Okay? All right, angels, I'm sending you lots of love. Mwah.